Hello, my homie lover friends. How are you today? If you are new to me, make sure you say hello so that I can reach out, become friends, all that kind of stuff. If you are a true Glow Me homie, I would hope that you would say hello because we're best friends right now. If you're watching the replay, let me know. We are having technical difficulties here today. This is the third time I am recording this. So we're having fun. I'm fun doing this. But if you are a woman that is struggling with acid reflux and you have that burning inside of you and you're just overwhelmed and need something more because holy moly, we can't take any more PPIs, make sure you are tuning in today because we're going to be getting down and good. We're going to be doing the good stuff here. If you are new, my name is Laura Martin. I'm the creator and founder of Healing the Happy, where I help women that struggle with IBS to finally find their food freedom using the free methods I teach inside of Gut Recharge. That is what have you. And we focus on the gut-brain connection because you cannot heal one without the other. This is this huge, beautiful connection, this body thing that we have going on. And when we can get them working together, that's when the magic happens. So let's get down on the gut-brain connection, or gut-brain anxiety connection, shall we? So what is acid reflux and what is GERD and how is this all connected, and is there a way to break free? Yes. And what I want to tell you guys today is a little story about my girlfriend Katie, who is a client of mine. And I feel like because I'm not going to give you my actual clients' names, but they're always Katie. So Katie came to me and she was on handfuls of PPIs. She was on anxiety medication. She was on SSRIs. She was on the whole slew of things. She was drinking the juice. She was eliminating foods. She was taking all these she was committed, right? But still struggling. She wanted something more. She wanted to feel like she wasn't so afraid of food, because what happens when you are struggling with GERD or IBS or anxiety or anything, you become so afraid, right? It not only affects you, but it affects the relationships around you, the way that you view life, the way that you're really navigating things. And so she wanted more. And so what we walked her through is what I'm going to kind of give you an overview of today so that you can understand what it is with acid reflux, what causes it, what you can do about it, and this whole thing, gut-brain connection, and how we can move forward. So acid reflux and GERD are actually the body having a weak sphincter, a weak esophagus sphincter, and a weak gut lining. And a lot of people think it actually has to do with too much acid, and that's just not true. It's just that the gut is weak, so you're going to get this burning feeling because the stomach acid is going to be too intense. But if you're dulling the stomach fire, you're dulling the stomach acid, you're going to perpetuate the cycle and you're never actually getting to the root cause. And this is why I really don't condone medications as a long-term solution. And that's just symptom management. And at Healing Happy, we are about solutions here, natural solutions at that. And so when you're struggling with acid reflux, it gives inflammation to the body, and the body, when it's inflamed, cannot heal. Okay. And this is the chicken and the egg approach. Like, do we tackle the inflammation? Do we tackle it with food? Do we tackle it with supplements? What do we do? And so what I walked Katie through is first understanding the gut-brain connection. So you cannot heal one without healing the other. There's just no way, shape, or form that can happen, because if your body is in a fight or flight state of mind, the blood flow that is meant to digest the food, that is meant to turn the food into fuel, is going to your brain or your muscles or your heart or all this kind of stuff. Because back in the day when you were stressed out, your body, usually it meant there was a saber-toothed tiger chasing you. And so if there's a saber-toothed tiger chasing you, the last thing you need to be doing is digesting your food. So moving forward from there, you really have to calm the digestive tract to heal this gut-brain connection and make sure it's not inflamed. And so when the body is freaking out, just kind of doing its thing, we have to calm it down. And to do that, you have to make sure you're eating the right foods in the right order. You have to make sure you're looking at your lifestyle practices. You have to make sure you're focusing on repairing the root issue, which, like I said earlier, is gut-brain dysregulation, is weak gut lining, is not enough of the right digestive enzymes, so you're not breaking down your food. And this is why you'll see food sensitivity start to rise up. So maybe it started with like dairy, and then I got to gluten, and then I got to like legumes and peanuts and all that kind of stuff. This is when you start to see the digestive enzymes needing a little bit more work. Does that make sense to you guys? And so how you can go about fixing this is focusing on that, right? You don't want to just chase symptom relief. You want to get to the root cause, and this is, we're missing that. And that's what Katie was stuck on. She was stuck on this train of eliminating foods and cutting out spicy foods and cutting out dairy and cutting out alcohol and caffeine, and not focusing on what foods can we add back in. Where can we focus on functional foods that actually help to boost the digestive fire in your belly, so that it's no longer like apple cider vinegar, but it's actually stronger, so that it can kill off the pathogens that are weakening the gut lining and weakening the esophagus sphincter. And it may sound like a lot, but it really is a system of taking the right steps in the right order at the right time. Because if you're doing everything at once with healing your gut and doing all this kind of stuff, it can be overwhelming and it can be stressful. And that's what happened with her. She had been cutting out all this stuff, but at the same time, she had a highly stressful life. She wasn't into a eating routine. She was going really long periods of time without eating, not intentionally, but fasting, and then also stressful times between work meetings and what have you, and not focusing on that, or she wasn't hungry, so she was fearful of it. And it was just very dysregulated. And at the same time, she had a very stressful job. She had a very stressful life, and all of this stuff impacted what was going on. And so the steps I took with her were exactly what I cover, right? So the free method: foundations, reprogram, exploring, evolving. And so you got to get to your foundations. You got to look at, when did this all start? And was there hiccups leading up to it? Because usually acid reflux is a final nudge of something else that was happening along the way. So were you sensitive as a kid? Did you have mood swings? Did you have bowel dysregulation when you were younger? All this kind of stuff. Did it lead up to where you are now? And then you want to really explore what your foundation, what are your eating habits like now? Not just like downloading MyFitnessPal or looking at that kind of stuff, but what are you eating enough of the right fibers, a right balance of them? Are you eating enough functional foods? Are you eating enough proteins, carbs, plants, and making sure we're getting enough, all of that within our day-to-day routine? And if we're missing that foundation, we're missing a whole key pillar, which I see a lot, to be completely honest, because when you're afraid of food, it's hard to eat. It's hard to be present. It's hard to shop correctly. You usually stick to the same foods because they're safe foods. And this is common, right? Like, it's not to say this is a normal way of eating, but it's common when you're struggling and you're living in this whole fear-based food approach. And so when you get to your foundations and really tap into that, that's when you can start making changes. And so what I work with my clients on, what I worked with Katie on, is sending that back. So we use a gut diary. So it's more thorough than just like a tracker. We go deeper than that. And then they send it back, and we go through looking at our, looking at her health history. So we get the foundations and working from there. And then you work on reprogramming, because the awesome thing about this beautiful, beautiful body that you have is that you can reprogram it. These bacteria can be retrained, which is awesome. And these digestive enzymes, when you flex them, it's just like a muscle. When you train them, they can get back to eating foods optimally, right? And so like Katie, she can go back, she enjoys bar food from time to time, like it's not an everyday thing, but she enjoys it from time to time. And she's able to move forward and have her life back. And that's what I want for you, my friend. And then you start to explore different options of functional food and evolving your lifestyle. And so these are the pillars that ultimately work with your body, but also work with your lifestyle so that it's not stressful. Because if you're stressing, emphasizing again, you're not digesting. Okay. And so these burning feelings in our bellies, these these are all symptoms. These are all signs. And yes, we can fight them. We can push them down. We can be mad at them, but they're all signs that your body is trying to tell you something is off. And it's this messenger. And once you allow your body to slow down enough and let this messenger deliver the message, you're able to answer that with grace and permission. You're able to move forward, right? And so when we're constantly out running and we're constantly trying to suppress and we're constantly trying to eliminate, we're missing this whole arena of what is this trying to show me? And how can I use this to really move forward? And how we focus on doing that is really nurturing this gut-brain connection, because I want to bring it back to, if there's a saber-toothed tiger chasing us and we are following these protocols and it's stressful and our life is stressful and we're doing all the supplements, we're doing all the things, but we're still struggling, it's usually a gut-brain dysregulation, just like every other IBS symptom. And so because when we're in a state of fight or flight, we can't digest our food, we're going to have these undigested food particles ride back up into our digestive, our esophagus, or we're going to have the undigested food particles break that blood-brain barrier, and we're going to have issues. And this is when you start to see, okay, why is this not working? Why is it? And like, it breaks my heart when I'm sitting with clients or I'm on roadmap calls or I'm doing that, and people think like, oh, what can I eliminate more of? And what can I cut out more of? And what, all these kind of things. And it's like, no, it's not what can you take away. It's what can we add in, and how can we look at the lifestyle practices that are impacting this? Is that making sense to you guys? And so what I want you guys to take away from this is that it doesn't have to do with too much stomach acid and eating, eliminating and cutting out more food groups and going on more fasts and drinking more bone broth and what have you. It has to do with getting to the root cause. And getting to the root cause is ultimately what sets you free, so that you can enjoy spring, so that you can get back to enjoying the barbecues and feel at peace in your body, mind, spirit, and soul, without the burning sensation in your belly. And so understanding that it's not stomach acid, understanding that it has to do with a whole body approach, it has to do with the gut-brain connection, it has to do with weak gut lining, with weak esophagus sphincter, with the enzymes in your belly not working as they should and as optimally, and metabolic dysfunction and gut-brain dysregulation, which sounds like a lot. I get you, but I'm going to give you some starting points. Okay. So starting point number 1 is getting your foundations. 1, think back to when this all started, and think back, if you had little nudges along the way, what were they? When did they start? What was happening in your life? What were you eating? What were you living? What was going on? Right? Note that down. Next, I want you to start tracking what your day-to-day is. Okay. So if you need more guidance on this, make sure you get the gut diary. One of my favorite things, helps you really understand this, looking at it. So what are you eating? What times? What symptoms? How are you feeling? What's your stress level? What's your water intake? What's your fiber intake? All this kind of stuff. What's your balance of the fibers? Do you have enough soluble, insoluble? Looking at this and then moving from there. And then once you've done that, go head over to the masterclass that I have. Okay, so you're going to have your foundations, you're going to understand this, but then I'm going to break you down exactly. It's this mini course, it's 60 minutes. I'm going to break down exactly what you need to be doing next so that you can set yourself free. And that's at healingtohappy.com/masterclass. Okay, so going from there, and that's totally free. Going from there, you'll be able to see how you can really set yourself free, understand how this whole body as a whole is working. And then if you need more assistance, make sure you do book in a roadmap call, because I have 2 spots available for that next week. And I also have 2 spots open in my Gut Accelerator Program, which, I only open up a few of those every single year. So if you're one of those girlies that is ready for 8 weeks of me and you and overcoming IBS once and for all, make sure you book in that call, because girlies, the magic that happens in this container is freaking beautiful. Like Katie, she was offered PPIs in 3 weeks. That is bananas. So my homework for you, my friends, is get your foundations, understand that, understand where you're at, go to that masterclass, wash it, digest it, get it in, book in a time that works for you. I only have that up a limited time, and then book in your roadmap call so that we can put up and see if the Gut Accelerator Program is the right fit for you. So, third time's a charm, my friends. Let's hope technology is on my side. I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you next Tuesday over on Instagram. Happy healings, my friends.